Good evening and welcome to Have I Got News For You? I'm Marcus Brigstocke. In the news this week, Honda admits that their latest in-car satellite navigation system has a few teething problems. In London, at the memorial service for John Peel, Deputy Prime Minister John Prescott is accused of misjudging the mood. And news arrives from I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here that Paul Burrell has been bitten on the arse by a deadly snake. On Ian Hislop's team is a newsreader and correspondent who once said, "I'm just a bloke in a suit reading out loud. It's not remotely difficult." A sentiment I totally implore. Pliath Walden, Michael Buerk. And with Paul Merton tonight is the editor-in-chief of the sport newspapers, who once revealed, "We know what our regulars like, and too much news puts them off." So he'll be right at home here. Please welcome Tony Livesey. And we start with round one. Ian and Michael, have a look at this.
It's the Queen.
It's the Queen.
On our way to Parliament to tell Parliament how we're going to be protected about the greatest threat facing our country.
Is that the greatest threat? This is the Queen's speech.
Queen's speech.
The set of bills to scare the pants off us.
Climate of fear.
Climate of fear.
Climate of fear.
Are you scared? Quite scared of David Blunkett.
Yes. Fathers for Justice.
Yes, well, he hasn't got the suit on, though, yet, has he?
No.
I quite like the bit where... Is that the guy in black? That's the head of the Child Support Agency, isn't it?
I think so.
Knocking on the door, saying, "Come out, Blunkett, I know you're in there."
I've got a theory on Blunkett. I mean, when he first went out with Kimberly Fortier, she lied to him and said she was tall and blonde to try and tease him a little bit. So, why doesn't she say that he can have the kids and just give him Ronnie Corbett? I think you find that's watertight.
And it's good, because the BBC won't cover this story, so I think the sport has to. I mean, Boris gets caught out and everyone goes on about it, and he appears on every broadcast and they doorstep him jogging. And then Blunkett gets caught out and there's not a mention of it. And I think it's because... I don't know how to say this sensitively, it's because he's in the government.
I just think if Blunkett's to blame himself, because if he can train his dog to look for buses and cars by the roadside, he can train his dog to tell him if a woman's married or not, you know. Get off her! Teach it to say sausages. She's married, Dave! And a bit of a clue.
Well, I had a dog like that. I'd go into show business. I'd forget being home secretary.
You shouldn't be surprised. Their dogs can do that every day in the sport, aren't they?
Absolutely. I've got one as deputy editor, funny enough.
Deputy dog.
We should be taking this Queen's speech seriously, but it's so pathetic, it just isn't worth it, really.
It was. Quite a lot of scaremongering, really, wasn't it? Do you think we should be frightened?
No, I think there are 32 bills in there.
32 indeed.
And they're going to have an election in May, so none of them are going to get on the statute book anyway.
No.
So it's basically a chance to just say, be very afraid.
But there was something this week that we were supposed to be quite frightened of. Did anyone notice that?
Well, there was a story about Al-Qaeda were going to fly aeroplanes.
Centre Point.
No, it was Canary Wharf, not Centre Point.
Funny, that story came out just the day before the Queen's speech.
Yeah.
So you were meant to be really scared, and then Blunkett came on. You thought, oh, no, he'll solve it.
It was covered by the Daily Mail, obviously, and ITN's Nick Robinson, who definitely thought it was a scoop.
They wouldn't allow us to show the clip, but he said, "I have known about this story for some days now and have been checking it out. The timing of this story is mine and not the government's. I can't verify whether there was a plot. I'm simply being told there was one."
I remember your paper using exactly that defence when they found Elvis in a supermarket.
So, what was some of the proposed legislation in the Queen's speech?
Identity cards, ID cards.
Yes.
It's one thing, isn't it?
That's so you can know who you're mugging.
Yeah.
It was ID cards, there's on-the-spot fines for loutish behaviour, sweeping search powers for the police.
Free condoms for cabinet ministers. I don't know why they bother with teenagers. It's middle-aged blokes with beards you got to watch.
And coming back to the Queen, how did she indicate in her speech her true feelings at the moment?
Did she flick V signs at Tony Blair? While she was...
Did she do this throughout the whole of it?
Yeah. No, she said, the Duke of Edinburgh and I look forward to our visit to Canada. So, desperate times. This is the Queen's speech, which focused on security matters in the week of an alleged threatened attack on Canary Wharf. This week has also seen controversies surrounding the affair between David Blunkett and Kimberly Fortier. A spokesman for the Prime Minister refused to discuss David Blunkett's paternity row, saying private matters are private matters and will remain so until they're printed on an ID card. Paul and Tony, here's yours.
OK, this is the wonderful Prince Charles. He's got where he is today through sheer dedication. There's the woman that's attempting to sue him, and there he is. Remember, I'm the king. I'm the king. There's Charles Clarke, and he's the man that said Prince Charles is a bit old-fashioned. But at first he sort of suggested that people were encouraged to look for occupations way beyond their expectations of ever getting them. And he lumped in together pop stars and High Court judges. He said people seem to think it's very easy to become a High Court judge these days, you know, just turn up with a wig, say you're with everybody else, before you know it, you're in there and sitting down, silence in court. What do you think, Tony?
Well, this is far too serious for my newspaper, so consequently I haven't got an opinion.
No.
Did we not run it at all?
We did run it, yeah.
What was the headline?
Big ears versus very big ears. No, it's all about aspirations, isn't it?
Yes.
So, and I think we all aspire to do better than we're doing.
Some of us do, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on the same show as Ian, you see, but he's a benefit of a marvellous education. Is he dumbing down, or am I way above my capabilities? How have we ended up in the same area? How do you think that's possible?
He's doing the breaststroke, you're going down for the third time. Look at it that way.
Who did Prince Charles think were wrongly placed at the centre of our education system?
Teachers. Children. Children. Yeah, this culture of teaching children stuff at school is abysmal.
Yeah.
The woman involved who brought the case to the Industrial Tribunal, she found this job she was in. She was working in an environment that was elitist and hierarchical. You're working for the heir to the throne. Quite likely to be that.
Yeah. Quite a surprise.
It's all good news for the guy who wipes Prince Charles's bum, though, because he's now applied to clean his teeth. So,
oh, has he? Oh, good. He's looking forward to a promotion.
Presumably.
Yeah. I know they can't do two at once, can they? I mean,
no.
You wouldn't. It's like patting your head and rubbing your stomach. You wouldn't get it right.
No, you wouldn't. No. I don't think you're wasted at the sport at all.
Did you see how Charles defended himself this week?
Well, he said, I run the Prince's Trust, which, I mean, to be fair to him, does get youngsters from disadvantaged backgrounds and give them aspirations to do something else.
Absolutely.
That sounded serious for a minute there, I do apologise.
Then he did try to withdraw it. He said, in my view, it's just as great an achievement to be a plumber or a bricklayer as it is to be a lawyer or a doctor, says a man whose principal job it is to wait for his mother to die. Yes, this is the continuing row between Prince Charles and the Labour Party over education, triggered by a leaked memo. Responding to criticism, Prince Charles complained, I can't open my mouth without being ridiculed. If only there were an obvious solution. Round 2 this week sees the return of the never-popular Picture Spin quiz.
Hey!
A selection of recent stories to identify by means of a picture clue. Buzz in as soon as you recognise the story. The first picture, please. Oh, that was very quick.
Yeah, it's a number of popular singing stars. Who are singing...
Variety performers, are they?
No, lots of them are with popular beat combos.
All right.
They all are
Here
singing
it is
Band
now.
Aid.
That's right. Can you talk us through who's there, Ian?
OK, top right, that's Shazney, that's Jim from the Jimmies. No, I don't know who any of them are, but it's Band Aid. And they're singing...
Band Aid.
Do They Know It's Christmas?
That's right. They re-released it and managed to make quite a poor song slightly worse. For
This is all
charity.
your fault, isn't it? I mean, Band-Aid all started with your report, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It's bollocks too, of course, because in in Ethiopia they don't know it's Christmas because it isn't. Christmas is in January in Ethiopia.
You say they celebrate Christmas in January?
They do.
I didn't think they would celebrate Christmas at all.
Why?
Are they Christians?
In Ethiopia, yeah.
They are. They are Coptic Christians.
They're what? What?
Coptic
Coptic?
Christians.
Does that mean they're double-jointed or something? Same sort of Christianity, only Jesus doesn't get on the cross. It's a happy ending. It's always a bit of a downer, isn't it, that end of the story?
You've got to read the bit after that. It comes back again.
The sequel.
Yeah.
This time it's personal. I'm back.
You joke, but we actually had a story on the 9 o'clock news some time ago about this passion play that went horribly wrong. And in the interval before the last act, Jesus refused to get on the cross because he said it was dangerous.
Yeah.
And
You've got to learn lessons from history.
No, this is true.
He's a son of God, he's not going to fall for it twice, is he? You're lucky to get him the first time.
Anyway, I had a fight with the stage manager.
Yeah.
Broke Jesus' jaw. Jesus goes to hospital.
Yeah.
Terrible delay. When the curtain for the final act pulls back, Judas Iscariot's up on the cross.
That would be a Hollywood rewrite.
Did you see the amusing mix-up that Joss Stone had with Mr. Geldof? Kept calling him Gandalf, apparently. Easy mistake to make, looking at him. Could easily be from Middle-earth, couldn't he? And it's amazing what people will do for charity, really, isn't it, Michael? It was children in need last week. And the newsreader's contribution was well up to its usual standard, wasn't it? Shall we have a look?
Oh, I bet this is going to be grim.
Believe it or not, you come out of that quite well.
Who did you model that on, Michael?
What do you mean? It's an original performance. How dare you? Do you see that? There's a lady in the 6th row who's quivering.
There's a lady on the 6th row who thinks you're Dale Winton.
Yes, this is Band-Aid 20, the new version of the Live Aid song. The first television airing of the video was watched by 13 million people. Thank God it's them instead of me. Our next picture.
The video recorders. It's the death of video recorders.
That's right, DVD's
But is
outselling them
that
40
it,
to
then?
1.
If you've got a video, I suppose you've got to play, you can still play it.
Yeah, but buy a couple now.
I'm worried for a minute then.
They're not going to... Curries aren't going to come round and confiscate it. Little policeman.
Make way for the new technology coming out and smash your video up.
Yeah.
We're from Dixon's leaving.
I thought it might have been in the Queen's speech and I'd missed it.
Anyone sad about the demise of the VCR?
Well, I was until you explained it, and then I was fine.
What's going to happen to all the old videos?
They're going to put them by all those old fridges.
They are.
So you're
Indeed,
gonna have
on
a
Fridge
huge
Mountain.
mountain.
For those who haven't seen, we've got a picture of Fridge Mountain. Those are all fridges.
There's bound to be a yoghurt at the back of one of them.
This is the news that the increase in DVD sales means that the video recorder will soon be obsolete. According to the Daily Mirror, in 1978, Dixon sold its first video recorder for £800, $200 for the video and the rest for the extended warranty. When asked to comment on the reasons behind the demise of video cassette recorders, a member of Dixon's staff said, "Dunno, I'll have to ask the manager." Our next picture.
It's Sharon Osbourne.
Well spotted.
Who's lost £2 million worth of jewellery that she carelessly left lying by her bed. What got me about this story was how slow did the burglar have to be for Ozzy Osbourne to be able to catch him?
Did anyone see how The Guardian reported what Ozzy said about crime in America?
Didn't he say something like, we lived in LA for years and nothing happened, and then as soon as we moved to London...
He said people get shot there every day and there are stalkers and drive-by sausages. Which everyone assumed was a typo in The Guardian, but apparently that's what he actually said. There was some irony attached to the fact that the Osbournes were burgled. Anyone know what that was?
I think that Ozzy Osbourne railed on about burglars and how wicked they all were, without mentioning the fact that he'd served time for burglary himself, according to the papers.
Do you know how he got caught?
No.
Well, he was advised by a friend to wear gloves in order to not leave fingerprints. But being a rock and roller, he chose fingerless gloves. Not the sharpest tool in the box. Yes, this is the jewellery theft at the home of Sharon and Ozzy Osbourne. Police are still looking for the burglar who, according to one report, was grabbed in a headlock by a naked Ozzy Osbourne. Call off the search, he's suffered enough. And so to our next picture.
Those are Boris's shorts.
You'd know them anywhere. Yes, this is probably the end of Boris's political career. So how did all of this come to light?
He was having an affair with a girl called Petronella Wyatt, and her mother just spilled the beans. All of them.
Not exactly. She said they're not having an affair anymore. which was helpful.
Yeah, quite subtle of her, really.
And how's Boris been coping since all of this happened?
Do you know, I haven't seen him.
Really? He's been doing quite well. He's been out jogging, maintaining his dignity.
I advise you all very strongly. Go for a run. Get some exercise.
Did you mislead Mr. Howard?
Have a beautiful day.
Thank you.
Absolutely no comment. No, I didn't. No.
Are you going to save your
no
marriage?
comment.
Boris, are you going to save your marriage, do you think?
I'm going to do whatever I can to say. I'm sure they lock me out.
This is Boris Johnson, who was sacked from the Tory front bench for lying about his extramarital affair. When asked if the allegations were correct, Boris told reporters, "I have not had an affair with Petronella. It's complete balderdash. It's all completely untrue and ludicrous conjecture," adding, "Oh, hang on, crikey, I mean yes." Boris initially denied the allegations of an affair, describing them as an inverted pyramid of piffle, inadvertently giving away the title of the next Harry Potter book. Next picture.
I don't know what it is.
Good.
But I wanted to let you know that early.
OK.
Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Is this not the poncho that George Bush was wearing?
Ah,
You see, you did know.
No, it's Putin, yes. And this is in Chile. Was it Chile?
Yes. How come Tony Blair wasn't there looking a complete Clint on behalf of all of us?
Was this because it was the Queen's speech?
It was because it was the Asia-Pacific Economic Summit.
Ah.
I bet he wished he'd been there, though.
Absolutely. Looks like fun, that, doesn't it?
Yeah. He probably got a text message from Bush. You'll never guess what I'm wearing. Mind you, we should probably be careful about making personal comments about what people wear, shouldn't we, Michael?
The big prize, the Academy gave its thumbs up to the good, old-fashioned gladiatorial epic. Rosie Millard, BBC News, Los Angeles.
Rosie Millard in the best supporting dress.
It was irresistible, wasn't it? Don't you think?
Former BBC Arts correspondent Rosie Millard.
Yeah.
You're a bit of a fan of hers, aren't you?
I am.
You have a look at some other reactions you've had to her reports. I must stress these are all genuine reactions.
Rosie Millard, BBC News, Leicester Square.
I'm sorry that was terribly unfair, but great fun. Yes, it was. Anyway, it's the so-called Poncho Summit in Chile this week. According to The Times, this is the president's first foreign trip since his re-election, and he said he was delighted to meet the people of Carpetland. Which means at the end of this round, it's Ian and Michael with 4 points and Paul and Tony with 6 points. Round 3 is the odd one out round. Ian and Michael, Margaret Hodge, Robert Mugabe, Ozzy Osbourne and Richard Hannay.
Margaret Hodge, children's minister, got handcuffed by 2 people from Fathers from Justice, didn't
She did, yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne.
He was handcuffed to a policeman, presumably, when he was arrested that first time. Richard Hannay, who is the hero of the 39 Steps, and in the film he gets handcuffed to a woman. And Robert Mugabe, Peter Tatchell tried to handcuff him. Incredibly brave thing to do, given Mr Mugabe's track record on his opponents.
Very impressively, it is the right answer.
Oh.
Do you know why Ozzy was handcuffed?
Because he was a burglar.
No, he was actually handcuffed for pissing on the Alamo whilst wearing a dress.
This is the American National Monument.
That's right, yeah.
No, it's a nightclub in Accrington.
Yes, the answer is that they've all been handcuffed, apart from Robert Mugabe, who narrowly avoided being handcuffed to Peter Tatchell. Recently, Robert Mugabe rejected calls for gay rights in Zimbabwe, stating, "We don't believe homosexuals have any rights at all," which infuriated Peter Tatchell, but won Mugabe the freedom of the state of Texas. Richard Hannay is the main character in John Buchan's thriller The 39 Steps, coincidentally also the name of Ozzy Osbourne's rehab programme. So, Paul and Tony, your 4 are John Prescott, Tina Hobley, George W. Bush and Monty Don.
Tina Hobley, she's a soap star, that's right, Coronation Street?
Holby City, actually.
Holby City, OK. Is there any clue in the fact that her name is very similar to this job that she's doing?
No,
Hobley,
just lazy casting.
Oh, OK, fine. Monty Don, George Bush, I don't know.
He's a gardener, he's a Bush.
Yeah. Ah, you see, he's a Prescott.
He's a slug.
Slug, yeah.
She's the odd one out.
Doesn't look convincing, does it?
I'd like to say you're barking up the wrong tree,
Give us a clue.
OK, well, the clue would be that Ozzy Osbourne could well have been in this, given this week's news.
They've all fought people off.
They've all been robbed.
Oh, he fought the protester. He threw
punched
a
the
negative.
guy, didn't he?
Punched
Yeah,
him.
for wearing a mullet.
Did Tina bash her boyfriend up?
No.
Did she bash her husband up?
No.
Can we edit that for libel purposes?
Yeah.
They've all been have-a-go heroes.
Absolutely correct.
Except George Bush, who lost a fight with a pretzel.
No, Monty Don's the odd one out, because he was the one that got beaten
OK,
up.
but I got the right reason.
Monty Don is the odd one out because he hid in a shed while a drunken man shouted abuse at him and Charlie Dimmock.
Good. Where was Charlie Dimmock?
In the shed.
In the shed.
Oh, OK.
With Monty Don.
Yeah.
For an hour.
And what was the man shouting? I hate decking.
So that's the right answer, then?
That is the right answer, yes. So,
Good.
well done.
Thank you very much.
Yes, do you know who Holby City star Tina Hobley had a go at?
Scriptwriters?
No, it was actually a road rage maniac who was tormenting lifestyle guru Carol Kaplan. And Carol said his entire body language was screaming that he wanted to punch my lights out. It's quite hard to know how she picked him out of the crowd, but there we are. And George W. Bush, yes, stepped in...
Have we got film of him stepping in?
In Chile. We have got film of him stepping in. Just have a look. It was good of him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He's had quite a hard week as well. Did you see the website that's been set up about his re-election?
No.
Yes.
Ah, now which answer do you prefer?
www.sorryeverybody.com. There they are. Sorry world, we tried. Half of America. Yes, they've all been labelled have-a-go heroes, apart from Gardener's World presenter Monty Don, who hid in a shed to avoid a drunken fan. President Bush's bodyguards were accused of being overzealous by the Chilean military police. That's no mean feat. According to The Telegraph, Bush had a tricky lunch with Vladimir Putin. President Putin cited Stalinist history, saying he was trying to develop a democratic style of government consistent with Russian history, to which Bush replied, "Do you think they serve McNuggets?" We finish, as always, on the missing words round. This week's guest publication is Beverage Dynamics.
Oh, good, I read this.
So here we go with what was one of the biggest beverage stories of the year?
Boston Tea Party.
In its time,
In
yes.
its time, yeah.
Creme de menthe shandy, very big in Birmingham.
Creme de menthe shandy.
Yep.
Have you tried it? Yes, then.
It was very late at night.
It was
have
just
to be.
before you did that thing for children in me.
The answer's actually not much worse than creme de menthe shandy. It is, in fact, turkey and gravy soda. Turkey and gravy soda had a spectacular launch in the States. The first person to swallow a mouthful launched it a good 3 feet. Next, a teacher tells kids what?
That Santa doesn't exist?
No.
Because, sorry, he does. He does. Sometimes they say it stupidly, and it's not true.
You can't see the Queen?
It's the end of the world.
Shut up.
Very close. The answer is actually teacher tells kids meteor's coming and you'll all die.
That was one way to get attention.
Absolutely. The Sun condemned the irresponsible teacher for frightening the poor children unnecessarily.
The Sun?
And then helpfully showed a photo of what a meteor hurtling towards their classroom would look like.
Is that a meteorite or just a swan vesta close up?
And finally, you drank my what?
You drank my health farm dry, Mr. Best. No?
Mother-in-law,
Is it?
Horlicks.
You're not a million miles away with
Is it
mother-in-law.
blood, Mr. Howard?
Sister-in-law.
My sister-in-law's blood in a bizarre satanic ritual in Halifax.
It was shorter than that.
It was shorter than that.
Yeah.
Leeds.
In Leeds, yes. It is, in fact, you drank my granddad. But do you know the story this relates to?
Yeah, this is someone's ashes, isn't it?
I'm afraid it is, yes.
Being put into a cup of tea?
From the Czech Republic, some drunken friends accidentally drank their grandfather's ashes, mistaking them for instant coffee. They realised their mistake when they noticed the coffee tasted of Werther's Originals. And so the final scores are Paul and Tony have 9, Ian and Michael have 10. And I leave you with news that David Blunkett admits that his private office has been getting behind with the correspondence. At a dinner party in Chelsea, Michael Winner finishes another cracking anecdote. And in Westminster, a camera crew succeeds in tracking down Boris Johnson's political career. Good night.